Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Selby. I've met most of you. For those of you that have not met me, I am the new HR director here at H Corp. I wanted to just thank everyone for being so welcoming here this first week. I'd also like to thank Mike and the rest of the executive staff for agreeing to sit down with me here today. I'm not going to keep you long. I just have a quick presentation I wanted to go over. It's centered on HR analytics and how I propose that we incorporate them into our company structure moving forward. So if there are any questions or anything, feel free to stop me. We can go back and cover, whatever you need. So we'll jump right in here. So a good place to start is why. So why am I proposing that we use HR analytics and how I plan to use it as a key driver for success in our company? It's going to enable us to use data to improve our decision making. It will improve our ability to be proactive as we continue to grow. And finally, will enable our leaders to make informed decisions from the top down. It's not going to be, decisions that affect one person. It'll be decisions that affect every individual employee and the organization as a whole. I have chosen 3 proposed areas of focus to talk about the HR analytics. First will be the costs of absenteeism. And then I also want to look at cost of employee separations. And then we are going to look at employee health, wellness, and welfare. So we'll do a real brief absentee overview. There is some cited literature in here, but really the short of it is there's going to be several factors that we should be considering when assessing the costs associated with absenteeism, such as the cost of payments for non-work time of absentees, the cost of payments for time of those who manage absence, so on and so forth. I'm not one to read every slide verbatim, but moving over here, we're going to look at the evaluation on our costs due to absenteeism. And here's what we know. All right, at the end of last year, we had 50 employees. We still have the same 50, thankfully, so that is of use to us. Each employee was scheduled for a standard 40-hour work week. Our total absent rate last year was 2.6%. Now, it doesn't necessarily look like a staggering number, but whenever we look at the total employee hours lost to absenteeism, 2,704. That's pretty shocking in a company of 50 employees. So how am I going to get my numbers? I have this equation here. I know Mike is a very data-driven individual, so I made sure to add some math in here. Now, this is where we can really dig deep and we can see the use of HR analytics in our company moving forward. So I'm not sure if anyone has ever calculated this number and presented it to you, Mike, or anyone else here in the executive staff, but let's look at line item 12. Our total estimated cost of absenteeism per employee at the individual level, $3,600 odd. Okay, now, again, that doesn't maybe sound like a world of money, but if you look at line item 11, the total estimated cost of absenteeism last year cost this company $182,000. That is pretty staggering in a company of 50 employees. So why is this important with analytics? One, I was able to get these facts and figures to present them to you here today. I'm not sure if anyone knew that the number was that high. But as we continue to grow, having tools at our disposal like this, HR analytics, it's going to help us get in front of continuous absentee problems. We can look at different programs we can implement. That's not the focus of today's, presentation. Today we're primarily focusing on why we should be using these analytics. This was just an example. All right, now we can look at assessing the cost of employee separations. We are in a very fortunate situation here. Like I said earlier, 50 employees, it's the same 50 that were here pretty much from the beginning. I don't anticipate, from what I can see, any of them leaving. Everyone seems to really love it here. But we'll take a look again at another equation down here. How we're going to get our facts and figures, number of turnover incidents per period, divided by average workforce size times 100%. All right. Again, not to sound like a broken record, we are poised to see exponential growth. In the next 2 years, this company very well may double or triple in size from what I can gather. We need a clear and practical approach for analyzing the cost of employee turnover. As we grow, this will become more and more relevant. Implementing analytical measurement strategies will help us understand and mitigate the challenges to come. Now, the next slide is where we are going to look at some of the costs of employee separations. Why I'm presenting this to you today. This company hasn't necessarily had the need to assess these costs, but again, as a projection, if we double and triple our size, these are going to become more and more common, and it's going to be good to get ahead of it. Various separation costs like exit interviews, administrative functions related to termination, separation pay, unemployment tax, things that you haven't necessarily had to deal with yet, but we will as we continue to grow. You can see the total separation costs expressed as an equation here at the top right. And then if we look down under there, we can see that really broken down. So moving on to employee health, wellness, and welfare. We, as a 50 employee company startup, we do not, as of yet, have any sort of employee resource programs, employee assistance programs. With the company size being at 50, we may not quite see return on investment on this yet, but it is something that as we continue to grow, I am going to advocate hard for implementing. And most people think that that is just from, we want to show we care about our employees, which we do. But there's also math behind it. There's important things to take into consideration. My favorite is the example here at the bottom, 100 workers in each gender cohort and workforce. You can see just like, even from an analytical standpoint, the cost of alcohol related reduced in productivity in this example. This isn't us, but this is an example. How analytics can show us, just how much something like that costs and why it could be beneficial for us to implement certain employee resources, certain employee assistance programs moving forward. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but down the line, it is going to be something that we need to look at. And one of the last things I want to look at is basically the vehicle that's going to get us there. I partnered with my friend Henry at Z Corp down the road to gain some more insight into Tableau. I'm sure many of you have used it before, and if you haven't, you may be familiar with it just by word of mouth. But I just wanted to show you an example of how I intend to use it. Again, this is just an example. What I really wanted you guys to take away from this is, I know we use various systems to track different HR functions across the company. I am really an advocate of trying to have as much as I can in a singular place. And this is I won't say necessarily easy to use. There is a learning curve, but it's very digestible. It's very informative. It's easy to manipulate. And the learning curve isn't necessarily as bad as having to train someone on various different platforms or softwares. Okay. Just an example. So my final takeaways here: we are a young, energetic company. We are going to explode with growth in the next 2 years. That's what every projection has shown me. Implementing these HR analytics is going to be crucial in us staying ahead and being proactive. They might not be as important today as they will be a year from now, but implementing them now is going to save us a lot of strain. And again, growth and success can come hand in hand as long as we plan accordingly. Everyone have a nice weekend. Thank you.